Netflix rated R reviews. What's up? Let's go. Alright, so in the past, I would say about 2 or 3 years, Netflix has really been killing it, making this Marvel TV shows. They first released Daredevil, then they released Jessica Jones, then Daredevil Season 2, and then Luke Cage. And so far, Marvel has had a very, very, very great track record of making the shows entertaining, grabbing the audience with the story and acting and cinematography and just plain gritty, brutal action, fight scenes and everything. Daredevil being my personal favorite, especially Daredevil Season 2 when they bring out the Punisher, which the Punisher is one of my favorite Marvel heroes, anti-heroes, whatever you want to describe them. So beginning with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and now Iron Fist, all four of them together create a team called the Defenders. So 3 strong installments, Daredevil for me being the strongest one. And now they introduce Iron Fist, the 4th and final member of the Defenders. And I was into the show, I liked it, it was good, but it felt, it was lacking. It was definitely lacking in multiple aspects. First of all, the overall acting is fine. It's good. It's just sometimes there's a little hammy, over the top overacting from some people, where the urgency of the story kind of fails how the actors actually portray it, and you're just kind of like, that's okay. I mean, it's fine, but it's almost like after school special soap opera type stuff. Anyway, the overall story, for me, in my opinion, was kind of boring. Because, alright, so the whole Iron Fist story is about a young boy named Danny Rand who goes off on a expedition with his mother and father to try to reach a specific city in China. The plane crashes, the parents die, and Danny Rand is left on his own, and he comes across, well, people from a few monks find him from an ancient monastery. So they find him, they train him. He's gone for about 15 years. This ancient monastery is in a parallel dimension from our regular Earth. So he gets trained in the ways of the Iron Fist, and then he becomes the Iron Fist within the very first episode. The way they treated the story by going into flashbacks, and instead of actually just telling the story from point A to point B, which was actually a very interesting story. I would have loved if at least the first episode or 2 episodes were just focused on Danny Rand being trained as a child, and then throw him into the situation where he comes back to New York to reconnect with his old family, or the remainder of his old family. For me, the story going back and forth in the flashbacks was annoying, because that's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped watching Arrow, was because of the constant flashbacks where you're just like, okay, so that flashback fatigue just from Arrow, now it's on Iron Fist, and it's like, okay. Now, with that being said, the story overall being fine, but a little bit on the weak side. Danny has to come back and take over, or not really take over, but he wants to reconnect with his old family. They wind up running a multi-billion-dollar business that Danny's father started with one of his friend's fathers, Meacham, and they have this conflict amongst whatever, because everybody says Danny's dead, and they realize it's really him down the line, and then he comes across this girl, and just the way certain connections in the story went along, you're just like, okay, that's fine. I guess I wish I was kind of hoping for more of a creative way to do it, but I guess it's fine. So watching it, the fight scenes, this is where I was like, okay, the story is whatever, acting is fine, it's good enough, the story is good enough. Okay, now I want to see some kick-ass acting. This is like a kung fu, karate martial arts expert and everything, and I want to see some kick-ass fight scenes. I'm talking about, like, I want to see some like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or, you know what, screw all that mess. I want to see something like The Raid, or The Raid 2 type fight scenes, where it's action intensive and people are fighting and it's bloody and everybody's whatever. And like I wanted to see like the action packed fighting, and then they started fighting, and I was like, oh, okay, that fight scene kind of sucked. Okay, then the next fight scene, oh, that fight scene, okay, all right, the choreography is off. Like you could tell they're waiting to like, oh, okay, now I hit you, okay, and it's just like the timing was off, the choreography was off, and the things I thought maybe further down the story the fight scenes would get better, and they had a couple of fight scenes that were pretty decent. Overall, the last 2 episodes, in my opinion, were much better than the rest of the series. The rest of the other 10 episodes had some good moments, some story arcs that I was just like, didn't really care about too much. The overall story about Danny Rand and achieving his Iron Fist day, because he's the Iron Fist, but he hasn't learned everything about the Iron Fist. That to me was interesting. What was also interesting to me was the stuff that he was dealing with, or he's supposed to be dealing with, back at Kung Lao, which Kung Lao is the monastery that saved him as a child and trained him. So that's the stuff I was waiting for. I was waiting for that backstory, and I didn't want to see it in flashbacks. I wanted to see it, to actually see it, like the story arcs from that pan out, and see how it connected with the story arc in New York. But they kind of just stood in New York 95% of the time, and I was just like, like bro, I live here. I walk by that building every other day. Like, oh, that's the block that I went to hang out one time. Oh, look, they went into a bar that I've been into. Like, that stuff was kind of cool, but it's like, sick of New York, bro. Like, I expected more of the show. For me, the show didn't completely fail. At first, it kind of failed. The first 3 episodes for me like failed. They went whatever. But the show overall rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it like a 7.8, maybe an 8.0 at most, because they finally showed some cool special effects and fight scenes at the ending, which still wasn't that great. It wasn't Daredevil hallway level. You know what I mean? If you guys are Marvel fans, you've seen the Netflix, the other Netflix Marvel shows, you know that Daredevil hallway scene is now the comparison to every other fight scene in every other show. Okay, and I'm talking about the first one, and then Daredevil even topped it in the second one when he's going down the staircase in that building, and then Punisher is knocked down the elevator, and like those fight scenes were so gritty, grueling, and a lot of it didn't really look like, some of it looked choreographed, but it was like the choreography was hitting so well that it looked brutal. You know, like that's what I loved about Daredevil. But then again, Daredevil is a more brutal character than Iron Fist. Iron Fist is supposed to be more on the sarcastic, jokey side. But then Iron Fist, in this case scenario, was more like an after-school special, almost like a high school drama type of thing. And I was just like, this show is not hitting where it's supposed to hit. So yeah, so it's like a 7.8 to 8.0. For me, Daredevil Season 2 was like 9.8, 9.9. Daredevil Season 1 is like a 9.5, strong 9.5. Luke Cage is like a 9, and then Jessica Jones like a 8.8, 8.5, 8.8, something along those lines. And for me, Iron Fist, I'll decide it's a 8.0. It has promise, it has potential, it has some decent fight scenes, but nothing spectacular. Like, literally watch an old kung fu movie and it beats out the entire series. Honestly, it's a bit disappointing. The overall best thing about this is the charisma of the main character, Danny Rand. So you have to give him that respect, that much respect about it. It feels to me that Iron Fist was rushed. They should have taken about 3 to 4 more months to get this out, release it during summertime. The whole thing that I judge the show off of is that, is there a replay value? Will I go back to Iron Fist to watch it again? And honestly, I won't. I won't go back to see it again. Like, I've already seen Daredevil Season 1 like 3 times. I've seen Daredevil Season 2 all the way through twice. And I've seen certain episodes like 5 times, because some episodes were absolutely phenomenal. But Iron Fist, there's nothing I'll go back to. I got the entire story the first time. There was nothing spectacular to watch. There's no high level performance where you're just like, I have to see that again, type of thing. So yeah, Iron Fist is just okay. It has some problems with it. Has potential though. Has very high level of potential. So I do recommend everybody give it at least one chance to see through it. Did you see Iron Fist on Netflix? If you did, please comment below. Let me know about that. Tell me your opinions. Do you think I'm crazy for my opinion? Do you think I'm accurate? If not, or if so, who cares? Let's just have a conversation about it. Okay, guys? Yeah. So this is Ray from Rated R Reviews. Please like, subscribe. Join the Rated R family. There's about 200 people now. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And yeah, everybody, stay cool, stay safe. And next topic, let me know what your favorite movie is. Later.